This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
Jim, it's Shirley at the cleaners. You know that brown jacket? The one I said looks so great on you?
Yep.
Your favorite? We lost it.
I don't think Jim Rockford from the Rockford Files would have to worry about his missing jacket if he would have gone to Young's Dry Cleaning in New Orleans. Since 1940, 83 years of excellence. You looking to experience the best dry cleaner? YoungsDryCleaning.com, Jim Rockford. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Oh, yeah, I'm going to say yeah, you right again because it's a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. A little after 4 o'clock, 2 big hours coming your way on the radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. Check us out. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. You can also check out the program on another local FM station, New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. That's 107.9 FM. 600 AM takes you from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida, up and down the I-10, I-12 corridor, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama too. 600 AM, the AM side of the dial. Live streaming for 2 big hours, KaareTalks.com. That's our website. Kaare spelled Kaare, KaareTalks.com. Also on YouTube live streaming. Check us out, our YouTube channel. Click to subscribe to our fledgling YouTube channel. We're trying to build that bad boy up in 2023. Go to that search bar on YouTube, Neutral Ground, Corey Johnson, Kaare, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube, 2 big hours. Hey, 90 minutes of fun on television. That's right. The 2-hour talk radio program simulcast on television. Cox Channel 4 TV, Your View, Louisiana. Cox Channel 4 television throughout Louisiana. Wherever Cox TV is in the state of Louisiana, we're there. Weekday afternoons at 4, Cox Channel 4 for 90 minutes, 4 to 5:30. Same deal applies to you charter television subscribers. We're on Spectrum Channel 333, Spectrum Channel 333 television from 4 to 5:30 statewide. Yeah, you right. By the way, you can find out all that info I just threw out there from our website, KaareTalks.com, and you can email us, Corey at KaareTalks.com with anything you like. Anything you like. Fletcher Mackel is going to join us in about 10 minutes on the program. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Fletcher Mackel, sports director, WDSU, Channel 6. Fletcher Mackel, another Fridays with Fletch segment coming your way. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., about 25 minutes away with some good economic news. Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans, Inc., coming your way in 25 minutes. That segment every Friday with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, who, by the way, is hiring because all they do is grow. Latrim in Elmwood, Latrim outside of Hammond on the I-12 for you North Shore folks. Yeah, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Latrim's got a job for you, a career for you. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. And as I always say, go to the website. It's not 3 or 4 job openings. It's dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings at Latrim.com. A career awaits you at Latrim. Yeah, every week, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., that particular segment brought to you by Latrim.com. We obviously know the city of New Orleans very dysfunctional. It's almost comical in a way, but it's sort of sad. I mean, yesterday, the mayor, city council, NOPD, a demolition company show up in Pigeon Town. There's an old car wash about 50 feet off Carrollton. I want to say it's on Apple Street, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's right. It's an old car wash, one of those 2-lane jobs. You pull in one side or the other, and you just put it in park, and the car wash goes back and forth over your car. One of those touchless gimmicks. It's been closed for years and years and years. There was a murder there. There's a homeless problem, crime problem, drug problem kind of there. The city goes in there and, invites the media out there. They're demolishing the car wash. They bring a dumpster type container out there. They load that full of all the debris and crap that's sitting around the car wash. And then right when the crunching machines from the demolition company are about to tear down this blighted property, the lawyer for the owner shows up and has a kind of cease and desist type letter. Or if it wasn't official through a court, he threatened to sue, and then the mayor, the council, the NOPD, the demolition company, they stop what they're doing. No demolition. That press conference took off like a rocket ship and then just imploded. One of the Motwani relatives is the owner of that blighted car wash. Imagine that. Now, it's sort of a catch-22. When the French Quarter was sort of beat up and didn't have the economy it has now, this Motwani guy went in there and scooped up a bunch of property on the cheap. More power to him. The problem is, I don't know if there's anything outside of, what's the old restaurant with the brisket on Decatur? I'm going blank. Oh, boy. What was that old restaurant? I should know that. They had the Great Marquee up there. Just kind of a mediocre restaurant. I'm not trying to be hypercritical. A beautiful bar, an antique bar. Just Google that, Jason. Just put brisket, famous brisket on Decatur historic restaurant. It'll pull it up. Anyway, I think Motwani owns that restaurant. Moved it from its original location, I think, to like the old Tujague's. Yeah, Tujague's. Thanks. Moved Tujague's, I think, to the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, another building he owns, if I'm not mistaken. But outside of that mediocre restaurant, it's a bunch of trinket shops. It's a bunch of garbage that most of Motwani's buildings, they sell. They just sell crap. Stuff that no New Orleanian would ever wear. T-shirts with lots of curse words and crude stuff on them. Lame Mardi Gras masks and beads and just garbage. Just like a T-shirt trinket shop selling crap. Pretty much worthless. Like the council should come in and ban that stuff in the quarter because it's an absurd amount of overkill. There's a few other buildings that Motwani owns. And apparently this is the dad or the son or one of the relatives owns the car wash. And these folks have a lot of money. They're at the very least rich, if not wealthy. Millions of dollars, if not tens of millions of dollars. Heard stories about a wedding. I mean, who would want their wedding in Orlando and it was like $1 million wedding? Let's go to Orlando. Let's not. Anyway, one of the Motwanis owns this blighted car wash in Pigeon Town and has done nothing to it for years. Just not a good citizen, in my opinion. Not a good citizen at all. And by the way, Motwani, a friend of Motwani, the phone lines are always open. We don't screen phone calls. I won't cut you off. You're welcome to call the program and comment. Defend yourself. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480, Rouse's Market's phone lines. But Motwani sends his lawyer to save the blighted car wash, the one he's neglected for years and years and years, where a murder took place. Just absolutely pathetic. It really is. Just weak and pathetic. The opposite of weak and pathetic, the weather's pretty nice. Outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. They're open right now. Wednesday through Monday. They're only closed on Tuesday. Open up around 11 a.m. actually, and go till 9:30. Outdoor dining, indoor dining, to-go orders. Some of the city's finest Middle Eastern food tonight for dinner, Lebanon's Cafe.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spots. NolaAC.com, your cool spots.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Parish Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. I'm not kidding, Jason. Jason's at the controls fielding your phone calls. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's in Mid-City right now, winding down your Friday, heading into the weekend? Lunch, open throughout the day, dinner 7 days a week. Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Don't forget the Katie's of Harahan, Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue, and Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview, another Scott Craig restaurant. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in the old Charlie's Deli location. About 15 specialty sandwiches to choose from. Francesca Deli in Lakeview, Bienvenue in Harahan, and Katie's in Mid-City. Speaking of Katie's in Mid-City, we're heading to Mid-City, I bet. Fletcher Mackel, his day off from Channel 6 Sports, joining us live on the program. What up, Fletch?
Not a lot. Corey, how's it going?
Good, man. Same old thing. Yourself?
You know, same old, getting ready to watch the LSU Tigers play here. Tip off like at 4:20, I think.
Yeah. Talking about the Lady Tigers, Utah up in the Sweet 16, right?
Yep.
I heard Kim Mulkey's got on a flashy outfit. Imagine that.
I was going to say, I haven't seen it yet, but I have no doubts that she is definitely like, yes, there's no doubt.
Fletch, Utah's the 2 seed, I believe. LSU, the 3.
Yeah, Utah is a higher seed than LSU, and they're pretty good. And I talked to one person who covers women's basketball, very in depth. And they told me that it's going to be interesting because I think Utah, maybe top to bottom, has a more complete team than LSU, but that Angel Reese is so good. And look, LSU has, look, Flau'jae Johnson is really good and Alexis Morris is really good. But, this team may have a little bit more size and they may have a little just more, I guess, completeness, if you will, than LSU. But here's the thing. I love Kim Mulkey's kind of, the sports psychology of it. I hate to say she's, what is it? What is the term? I can't think of it, like the boxing term.
Punching above your weight?
No, like it's like the rope-a-dope thing, like where she keeps saying like,
we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Yeah. We shouldn't be here. It's like, I don't know about that. Like last time I checked, Angel Reese is pretty awesome, and this team's pretty good. Like, last year, if it would have been her first year with what she inherited, I would have said that's true. Look, I agree. Do I expect LSU to win the national championship? No. But to get to the Sweet 16 and maybe the Elite 8, like I think this team, this team just went 30-2 and undefeated in the PMAC, but that's what I love about Mulkey. I think she probably knows those are the right. Sean Payton was like that. You knew which buttons to push at the right time with your players, and I think she knows which buttons to push, and that's kind of been their deal. Like nobody expects this underdog kind of chip on their shoulder team. She did it last week with Michigan. Michigan had been to the Sweet 16 back-to-back years. Mulkey had coached against that coach at Michigan. Mulkey spent 48 hours leading up to the game saying Michigan should have been a host. They're much better than a 5 or a 6. And then LSU goes out there and smokes them. And so I get the same feeling, but somebody told me that Utah is pretty good.
Matt McMahon, the men's coach, is there. Scott Woodward, the AD, is there. Brian Kelly, the football coach, is there. So a lot of support. Mulkey, Fletch, I think slightly more affable than these two I'm about to mention. And I'm dead serious when I say this. Saying that she makes them sort of soft and not competitive would be an exaggeration. But I think she is a more competitive coach, more of a killer than Nick Saban or Bill Belichick, and a little bit more affable and slightly better personality. There's no way anyone can tell me that Saban or Bill Belichick want to win more than Mulkey, or more competitive than Mulkey, or and I don't want to say cutthroat, but will cut your throat to win. I mean, Mulkey is as fierce of a competitor as I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, she's intense. I mean, look, going back to her days at Baylor, I mean, what you see at LSU, that's hard. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. In any sport, men's or women's, it's hard to think of someone who is that intense when they coach on the sidelines. I mean, I'm trying to brainstorm right now off the top of my head, and it's hard to. But look, I'll say this. Everybody wins in different ways and, kind of coaches their own style. And that's what I like is, the fakeness is what I don't like. And that's the one thing that Kim Mulkey is not fake.
Nope.
She is who she is. That is who she is.
Yep.
And look, that's who Saban is. And look, Saban can be intense on the sideline.
But Saban has no personality. I mean, you could go on a flight to Europe and sit next to Kim Mulkey for 6 hours and you'd probably enjoy it. Sitting next to Nick Saban for 6 hours, you'd get 20 minutes of conversation out of the guy. He's just not affable. He's not a people person. He's almost uncomfortable in his own skin outside of anything football related. Just has nothing to offer, nothing to say. Belichick's the same way. These guys are kind of drips. Mulkey's got a little more affable. And I mean that. I mean, I haven't talked to Belichick, but I've talked to Saban and Mulkey.
Yeah, so let me say this. Being a personality and a character is she's in a class by herself. I mean, maybe different than any coach. Look, Deion Sanders but he hasn't won certainly at that level yet. But like, you're right. Talking about like world-class championship coaches, it's hard for me again to think of. I thought you were talking about how they execute winning, and so. But no, you're right. Just from a personality standpoint of who would you want to hang around, Mulkey is probably the life of the party at dinner groups, parties. Like you said, if you're next to her on a flight, you're probably going to have a friend for life if it's a long flight when it's over. Whereas you're right. Some of these other people,
they don't care. They don't care.
Right, and they're stoic and they're single-minded on what they do.
Yep.
And they're successful at what they do, but they just don't have that kind of personality.
No. It's like Belichick and Saban better be successful. They don't have any kind of a life outside of what they do. Mulkey also, Baylor, top 25 program for 20-plus straight seasons. Mulkey leaves. A year and a half later, they're out the top 25. LSU, pretty dormant for the last decade or so. Mulkey arrives right away. They're a contender. Right away, they're winning. Right away, they're in the NCAA tournament. Right away, they're kind of not at South Carolina's level, but going in that direction. And then you heard Dawn Staley. They got the number 1 recruiting class coming in next year. They've got, all these players right now. You throw in the transfer portal. Dawn Staley acts as if LSU next season will be on equal footing of South Carolina.
I don't think she's wrong. I mean, look, here's the thing. Scott Woodward, certain coaches, certain leaders have MOs. He's not a coach. He's an AD. And his MO, wherever he's been, Washington, Texas A&M, now LSU, he doesn't go find that young assistant. He's not the guy that identifies, let me pick the rising star. That's how some people operate. Let me get the rising star, and they're going to flourish here. He's the guy who got Chris Peterson out of Boise when nobody could to go to Washington, and he took him to the playoffs. I mean, when he goes to A&M, he goes big name hunting for Jimbo after he's winning national championships at Florida State. Buzz Williams, he gets to LSU. He gets Brian Kelly. He's got Jay Johnson from Arizona right after the World Series. Getting Mulkey to come here was, I remember being blown away when that announcement came out 2 years ago in April. When it happened, because you're talking about one of the most accomplished coaches in the history of the sport, a Hall of Famer, and to get her to come to your program. So I say she's one of the greatest coaches in the history of women's college basketball period.
Yep.
When she came here, this was the expectation. Like, you didn't make her the highest paid coach in the history of the sport to be mediocre. You made this program relevant again, and she has been worth every penny for your program, the life she has breathed into them, because as you said, they were an afterthought. Nobody cared. It was just kind of like, yep, like they play basketball, but they used to be good under Sue Gunter and maybe a little while under Coach Chapman.
Yep.
They haven't been good in a long time. Well, guess what? They're good. They're selling out the PMAC. Biggest crowd in the history of that building was there for a women's basketball game this year. Perfect at home. Like, they paid a fortune, and right now they're smiling because, you know, the money has been worth it.
Little over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Tigers lead Utah 13-6 right now, doubling up on the Utes. A little over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. That one's on ESPN, FYI. Hey, Fletch, about 30 seconds, not even, about 20. Zion Williamson coming back in about 10 days or no?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's got to come back at the end of the season and in the play-in. Is he going to be on a minutes restriction? Probably, but I think he's going to end up coming back, yeah.
They're the 10 seed right now, so they'd be in the play-in if it started right now.
Yeah, I think that's where they end up too, probably 9 or 10.
The 12th seed in the West to the 4th seed in the West, 3 games, but only 9 games left to go. Pels have to win. Fletch, always a pleasure.
All right, Corey, thank you.
That's Fletcher Mackel, Channel 6, WDSU Sports. Coming up next, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week, lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now, now, now.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Welcome back, Crescent City. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It is crawfish season. Rouse's Market's doing you right. You want to bring them home and boil them yourself? Live crawfish by the sack at each and every Rouse's Market. You don't want to deal with that? You're just ready to eat hot from the pot. South Louisiana seasoned spiced crawfish that are fantastic. Rouse's Market all day long. Boiling crawfish for you, hot from the pot, ready to go. You could go eat lunch or dinner at Rouse's Market and enjoy pounds and pounds of boiled crawfish. They know what they're doing. Rouse's Market's truly your crawfish headquarters. Hot from the pot, ready to eat, or live by the sack. Bring them home and boil them yourself. Rouse's Market tastes like home. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You know what that means? The weekend is upon us. You know what else it means? Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joining us on the show. Miguel, what's happening?
Are you more of a hot from the pot or a live from the sack type of guy?
I am definitely a big throw down coals and grill steaks or chicken or ribs. And I've got the apparatus to boil crawfish or do some lobster or something. But I don't do it every year, every season. Probably like every 4 or 5 seasons, I'll boil some crawfish or do some lobsters or do a fish fry or something like that. So, no, I'm more of a hey, got a buddy of mine, you having a crawfish boil and you're inviting me? Great, I'll be there. You know, I'd rather someone else do it that's a pro.
That's right. It's a lot. I appreciate, but I don't need to duplicate.
No, and Michael, I'm a great griller and I like grilling and I've been doing it for decades. But I can boil crawfish and they're good. But I've got some friends that just know what they're doing and they love it. They love it. And I'll assist them a little bit, you know.
No, I get it. And, yeah. And I thought you were making kind of a boil pun there when you talked about Rouse's being the crawfish headquarters. But I think that was unintentional.
The head and tail headquarters,
The tail quarters.
Exactly.
Doesn't really work, does it?
The tail quarters. You're getting the shrimps po' boys from the quarters. You're getting yattier all the time, Michael, and you don't even know it.
No, it's inexorable. So how was your week?
It was good, man. It was a good week, you know. Typical New Orleans stuff. Good lunches, good dinners at different places. Enjoying the weather, kind of milder, almost sort of end of spring, getting towards summer, at least maybe not on the calendar, but weather-wise.
This is that time right now, man. This is those months of the year, going to the first week of Jazz Fest, where it's like San Diego with culture.
No, you know? Exactly. What a great way to put it. Yeah, we've got a lot coming, our way soon. We got French Quarter. We got French Quarter Fest. You got Zurich Classic. You got Jazz Fest. You toss in, like Bayou Boogaloo. You toss in Greek Fest. It's pretty cool.
It's lovely. We got a bunch of kind of economic development tech news that I think happened this week that we haven't talked about. Have we talked about Big Fish games yet or Techstars?
No. That happened after last week's program. You were just teasing us a little bit, but tell us about some tech jobs. What is that? Maybe a double?
Well, you grade it. So Big Fish Games is one of the biggest manufacturers, developers in the world of casual or mobile gaming. They do games with distinctive names like Gummy Drop and Cooking Craze. I don't know. Apparently, this is just a very big thing. They're an Australian company originally. Now they're owned by a company out of Seattle. They're opening up a talent hub here, I think with 40 people to start. We've been working on trying to get them here for 7 years, Corey. That's how long it took. So, to me, this is like and I call it a double.
It's definitely a clear double. I think it's a stand-up double.
Right, a stand-up double. Right, no need to brush off the pants. Just kind of cruise it in.
May have rounded second, heading to third, and then had to back up and head back to second type of thing.
And you were just rounding second to keep them honest. You weren't really thinking about it. You were just kind of showing out a little bit.
Now in Exile on Oak Street, you landed those guys about 6-7 years ago. Were you simultaneously going after both companies?
We talk to these companies continually. In fact, a bunch of our team was just in San Francisco at GDC, called Game Developer Conference. It's like the Jazz Fest of video games and software manufacturers. And it's an ongoing thing. And, a lot of this is, like trying to get panda bears to mate. You got to create the right conditions, a little soft lighting, some Barry White, some rosé. And then you just kind of wait and see what happens. And, it's kind of an issue of serendipity, getting the timing right. COVID, of course, kind of shut things down a little bit, and they're trying to figure out the post-COVID world. But we've had these guys. We had Accelerator recently. And then the other announcement last week, which is kind of a different one, is that Techstars, which is the biggest accelerator program in the world, operates in about 50 countries, has announced that they're going to open up an accelerator here funded by JP Morgan Chase and the state. And this is the tech world equivalent of getting an NFL or NBA team. It's the fact that we have Techstars immediately puts New Orleans into that same pantheon of the top places for tech, like, the classic ones, and then newer comers like Austin. So it's actually, it's going to be big for the companies that get in the cohort, and people that are interested can go to GNO Inc./Techstars. But it's, I think, from a branding standpoint, even more significant.
How many jobs will that produce?
Well, they're going to have, they'll have a small team here. I don't even know what the real number is. It'll be, maybe 2 or 3 people from Techstars actually operating in New Orleans. Then they're going to be, running the program, which is part of a national program. So people will come in and out of it. So it's not a job creator in the direct sense. It's more that it's going to be creating the next cohort of Lucids and Level Sets and Ovatalas that are coming out here. And the benefit of Techstars is not, you think it'd be the money they invest. I think they put $120,000 in the companies that they bring on. But when you talk to the companies that go through these programs, what they'll tell you is that it's the network that they are instantly part of and the branding where they can say we are a Techstar member that really is the value. And so it's a big deal. They're the 2 biggest in the world are Techstar and Y Combinator. And you combine those global efforts with the local efforts like Idea Village and Entrepreneur Week, which is happening next week.
Yep.
And, these are all pieces and parts of having the entrepreneurial sector get more and more successful, more and more significant. So it's a big deal.
Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. A couple of announcements concerning some great white-collar jobs. Where will these facilities be located, CBD?
Yeah, I think they're gonna both start out of the shop above the CAC. We have office space there that we give to companies as a landing place when they come in, and then we'll see where they go from there. So they're going to start out of the CAC, which is a great little place. All
right, from white collar jobs to maybe more blue collars. What's this potential fuel plant down in Plaquemine? Plaquemine Parish, just explosive growth on the river lately.
Yeah, this one is actually up in St. James. I think it's a sustainable aviation fuel project.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was south of the city, north of the city.
South of the city just got, the biggest project financing in world history, $21 billion for Venture Global. This one, which is going to go potentially up in St. James, would be huge. It'd be a 3,000 acre site, over 1,000 jobs, direct jobs at average salary of over $70,000 a pop. And it would be them making aviation fuel out of biomass. And, I'm a bit careful with these types of announcements because this is actually they're going to do what's called a FEED, or a front end engineering and design. It's basically a feasibility analysis. So, this is not yet really, a home run or a double. It's somebody who we just kind of brought up onto the team, and we're now going to try to slip them into the lineup. But it's exciting because it's kind of at that intersection of energy and the environment that we like to play at. And when you look at a place like St. James, in my opinion, it kind of makes more sense than solar for a place like that. And a place that has great land like that, you don't want to get away from the agriculture completely. And this is a way to use a waste product from the agriculture to generate revenue. So it's potentially very exciting. And just the fact that we're a finalist for this project and that they're evaluating it, is good news.
Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Michael, we've been discussing this for years on the program, on the segment. I don't know if you're going to have enough time to address it. We got to take a break in about 30 seconds. But the C word, and for us, it means communities working together instead of competing against each other. The port system competes with itself. Largest port system in the world from Baton Rouge to the river. And the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com had an article talking about what we've been talking about for years on this very segment.
Yeah, that article kind of nailed it.
Yep.
And it's unacceptable. We have to change and do better. And so, whether this is at a minimum having a single master plan that directs who does what on the river.
Yep. Yeah. Hang on with that thought. A single master plan. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans,
a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Michael, you remember the Braveheart movie with Mel Gibson, huh?
Yeah, of course.
I'm the Irish guy. New Orleans is my island. I own it. And I have to speak with the Lord Almighty to speak with an equal. All right, I'll move on from that pathetic joke. But the reality of the movie was, those tribes, the Scottish tribes, could never get together. And that's why England controlled Scotland, and they weren't cohesive. They weren't working together, almost working against themselves and cutting side deals with England. That's sort of the port of New Orleans, the port of St. Bernard, the port of Plaquemine, the port of South Louisiana, the port of Baton Rouge. From Baton Rouge to the mouth of the river, to the Gulf, the largest port system in the world. And that NOLA.com article where one of the ports was talking to somebody in Japan, and the guy in Japan's like, yeah, your other port next door was offering us the same kind of deal. It's like, it's mind-blowing, and it doesn't take a lot to figure out how tiny little Mobile, Alabama has passed us up in container capacity and number of containers moved a year. Why do we have this apprehension to work together? Louisville annexed a bunch of counties around Louisville and made one police force, one transit authority, one fire department. No one in Orleans wants to work with Jefferson. No one in Jefferson wants to work with Orleans. The North Shore is against the South Shore. The South Shore is against the North Shore. The state of Louisiana is against New Orleans. New Orleans is against the state. I just don't understand these fiefdoms. I mean, New York and New Jersey, two different states, consolidated their port to have the New York, New Jersey Port Authority because they knew together we both do better. But in Louisiana, it's like the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. I don't get it. I don't know if I'll ever figure it out.
Well, to me, it's good to try to understand how we got here, at least because it might get some clues on how to figure it out. And I think it goes back to Huey Long, who did two things intentional: power in Baton Rouge. So you have to go to Baton Rouge for everything, for your money, for your permission. And the second is that he created a system simultaneously that encouraged different jurisdictions to compete with each other, because he understood that would actually consolidate the power in Baton Rouge. Divided, we're conquered. And I think that system, it remains to this day.
Yep.
And so we have to slowly dismantle it and kind of devolve power from Baton Rouge and encourage more cooperation at the local levels. And the ports is probably the most egregious example of it, because 20 years of singular focus in Mobile means that little timber and coal port has now surpassed us in containers. Although I will say the good news is that the port down in Violet, I think that is going to go forward now. I think that there's enough of a commitment to the road getting done, the truck road, which is really critically, politically, and practically, that we're going to get that done. And that combined with coordination of the ports will get us back in the game.
That trucking road has to be hundreds of millions of dollars, I would guess, huh?
Oh, no doubt. It's probably $1 billion project by the time you're done. But there are ways to do it. Like you could bring down 510 and make it a federal highway, right?
Yep.
Access all those federal funds. Or you could do it as a toll road, right? And have it pay for itself.
Yep.
So, there are many ways to do it. It's critical. And, I said from the beginning, if you don't do it, the people of St. Bernard, with justification, are going to lie across Judge Perez Highway.
Yeah.
And just block the trucks.
No, St. Bernard folks need to leverage it into the Florida Avenue Expressway. That would be my advice to those folks.
Yeah. So I think the message has been received and it's going to happen, which is great.
You make a brilliant point about Huey Long. I'm going to use that in the future on my show. I think you can couple it with, French colony, Spanish colony, far away from Europe, 200 years plus ago. A lot of corruption, a lot of, not a lot of oversight. And I think that corruption still exists today.
Yeah, and then I'm going to add in one final coup de grace, which is the curse of riches. We have been so blessed with things like agriculture and aquaculture and energy and creativity that we didn't need to have good institutional processes or a system. We could get away with kind of half-assing it because, we were in this, we were just so central economically. And so, I think, this kind of all falls under the better late than never now.
Yeah. No, that's another great point. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Hey, Michael, before we let you go, Entrepreneur Week next week, right?
Yeah, Entrepreneur Week is next week. It's, a great opportunity to create momentum around entrepreneurs. You have some, real significant people coming in here like Steve Case, the founder of AOL. You have funders coming in, and a lot of our companies that have gone on to great success, like Lucid, which now sold for $1 billion a couple of years ago, or Jamaround, which has just been funded by Andreessen Horowitz out in San Francisco, got their start here. So, and now they're adding a music element, so it's becoming more like a South by Southwest. So, yeah, big ups for Noe. People should go to noew.org to check it out. And come down next week and have a look over at Gallier Hall.
Congratulations on the tech jobs and the fuel plant north of the city, upriver. Great stuff, Michael.
Thanks, brother. Enjoy your Sweet 16 weekend.
That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. on a Friday. Stick around.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Little Sweet 16 action on ESPN. LSU jumped out to a 13-6 lead over Utah. Then the Utes went on a 21-14 run, tying it all up now, or I should say it's all tied up at 27 apiece. About 2 minutes to go until halftime, 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lady Hoops, they play 4 quarters, not 2 halves. Hey, it's Magnum PI next. Actually, I'm Tom Selleck. You ever thought about a reverse mortgage for your home? You can trust me. I own about a half dozen homes. I'm a multi-millionaire, still getting residuals from Magnum PI and movies that I've done. Mr. Baseball and the like. And I'd never do a reverse mortgage myself because I don't need the cash, but you can trust me. You can go do a reverse mortgage with the Reverse Mortgage Company of Walla Walla, Washington, on the corner of Main Street. Edition of the program, 5 o'clock power hour. 5 o'clock power hour on this Fantasy Friday, brought to you by Fausto's Italian Bistro. They opened their doors for the evening 6 minutes ago. And because it's Friday, they go till 10 p.m. tonight. Monday through Thursday night for dinner till 9, 5 to 9. Friday and Saturday night, 5 till 10 p.m. New Orleans-inspired Italian and Sicilian. It's really tough to beat Fausto's Italian Bistro. Fausto and Roland, the brothers that own and operate Fausto's, one of them's always there, lunch, dinner, one of them's there, if not both of them. That's so key in the restaurant industry. Their sister is Irene from Irene's Restaurant in the Quarter. Irene's always there, or her son Nicholas. Did I mention that's so key, important in the restaurant business? No, you won't be disappointed. First family of Italian and Sicilian cooking. It's Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets, open till 10 p.m. You can go plop down at the bar right now. Check out the second half of LSU Lady Hoops, Sweet 16 action. Check out other sports action sitting at the bar or sit in the restaurant, or when the weather's like this, white tablecloth, outdoor dining at Fausto's Italian Bistro tonight for dinner on Vets. I did mention it's a little bit after 5 p.m. It is a Friday. That means for most of us, 100% of the work week in the books. History behind us. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of you. The future. I like this very moment, this limbo moment of the week where the work week's done, the weekend's just getting started. I like putting the spotlight on this very moment, smelling the roses. We do it on this program by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. I said we do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. The 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super D, doing you right. 6 blocks north of Judge Perez. 6 minutes off the I-10 via the I-510. Paris Road at Solidell. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Folks down into Paris, St. Bernard, where life is hard. Chalmatians, they know all about Super D. But so do the savvy consumers of wine, alcohol, and cold beer all over the metro area. I don't care if you're on the North Shore, the West Bank, the river parishes. If you're restocking the bar at home all the time, you entertain a lot, you tailgate, you throw parties, and or you're just consuming alcohol like you like fine wine and you're buying bottles of fine wine or cases of fine wine, the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law can be found at Super Discount Store in Chalmette on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. They've got an insanely large selection. The Fluke, they don't have what you drink. Maybe it's Pappy Van Winkle. Maybe it's Opus One. They will get whatever you need by the bottle, by the case, by the pallet full, and it'll be at the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law. Wine, alcohol, cold beer, at the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law. It's got to be Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Super Discount Store!
That 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday, always brought to you by Super Discount Store down in Parish, down in Chalmette. They'll take care of you. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. If you missed the last hour on a Friday, our usual guests, you missed a lot. Fletcher Mackel, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. He joined us for about 10 minutes, around 4:20. And then right after that, for about 25 minutes, Michael Hecht joined us from Greater New Orleans Inc., talking about some tech jobs coming to the CBD. Some blue-collar oil and gas jobs coming to St. James Parish. Yeah, you're right. Entrepreneurial Week next week. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joining us on the program. Always getting some good news from Michael. Trying to get New Orleans up to speed with places like Austin, Nashville, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta. Trying to play a little catch-up. Hey, by the way, you can always check out segments like Fletcher Mackel, Michael Hecht. If you miss them, just go to YouTube right now. Corey Johnson Neutral Ground, and you can check it out. Check us out live on YouTube. Check us out live on the radio. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. Live streaming of the program, CaareTalks.com, our website, CaareTalks.com. For about the next 20 minutes, we're live on TV, radio, live streaming, YouTube, 2 big hours every afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m. The first 90 minutes of the 2 hours, 4 to 5:30 weekdays on television statewide, Cox Channel 4 TV, Spectrum Channel 333 television. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, on TV until 5:30. That Pigeon Town car wash, that blighted car wash, I think it's on Apple Street at Carrollton, across from the old Seal Test Dairy, which I say Seal Test Dairy, showing my age, the old post office on Carrollton. That's been there for about 30 years now, that post office. Seal Test Dairy was, I was a kid. Carrollton Boosters used to be behind there. Right across the street, I think there's a Valero gas station that is temporarily shut down. About 50 feet off of Carrollton was this one of those double, slot car washes. You pull the car in and stop, put it in park, and the touchless car wash, kind of goes back and forth over your car. It's been closed for years and years and years. I would guess it's been shut down and closed for a good 5 to 10 years. I'd say 5 years at least, maybe as long as a decade. The city, the mayor, Leslie Harris, the council person, the NOPD, the demolition company, a big container, a big dumpster. They're out there yesterday hyping its demolition. They cleaned it all up. The wrecking ball's about to tear down the building where a murder took place, where homeless people hang out, where crime, drugs are dealt. They said, we got to get rid of this blight, got to get rid of this car wash. Literally have a press conference, cleaning up everything before the wrecking ball's about to hit it. And then a lawyer shows up representing the owner, that Motwani guy. I don't think it was, with a cease and desist, or if not a court-ordered cease and desist, the lawyer showing up with a letter saying, hey, y'all didn't go through the due diligence. You didn't notify us. You're about to tear down one of our assets. We're going to sue you. And the city stopped the demolition. So obviously the city didn't have their you-know-what together. And Motwani hadn't had his you-know-what together for a while. This guy is at the least rich, if not wealthy, worth millions, tens of millions. Who knows? Maybe north of 100 million. I have no idea. But he's a rich, if not wealthy guy. More power to him. 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when the Quarter was struggling, he went in there and scooped up a bunch of buildings in the French Quarter for cheap. But then he had to figure out, how can I make some money on these buildings? Can't rent them out because the Quarter's beat up. A bunch of his building just has just pure crap, like a problem for the French Quarter. It doesn't benefit the city. It benefits Mike Motwani. He just sells crap, garbage, T-shirts with profane stuff on them, just curse words and just dumb T-shirts that don't represent New Orleans at all. Mardi Gras type trinkets, beads, and Mardi Gras masks that no local would want. Seriously, just crappy tourist trap. I'll fill you in next.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Yeah, that Pigeon Down car wash that was supposed to be torn down. A lawyer shows up right when the wrecking ball is about to hit it and stops the demolition. It's been blighted for at least 5 years. I don't know why that Motwani guy didn't do what he's supposed to do and keep up his property for the last 5 to 10 years, but he insists on keeping the blighted property, and the city didn't have their you-know-what together and had to stop. They had a press conference, mayor, council people, NOPD, the wrecking company out there. That's part of broken New Orleans. And the folks that suffer, all of us driving down Carrollton, seeing the blight, and folks that live in that Pigeon Town neighborhood where it continues to be a place where drugs are dealt and crime goes down, a murder at that site. Just not right. Hey, it is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. Exactly what she wants, guys. On Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton, the Carrollton section of Uptown, the Riverbend area. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. New Orleanians that know no Friend and Company Fine Jewelers when it comes to engagement rings. And unlike some of these so-called diamond stores, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers only sells real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old, not 3-week-old man-made diamonds that were lab created. Engagement rings, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, diamond stud earrings, real diamonds, natural diamonds. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Yeah, in the old city of Carrollton, the Riverbend area. Speaking of, we'll just continue down Maple Street, cross over Carrollton Avenue, head towards the river. A block before the river, we'll hook a left on Dante. About 20 yards down to your left, old Creole cottage, about a century old. And in there for about the last 36, 37 years, one of the finest restaurants in the city, one of the finest restaurants in the country. James Beard Award winning. It's really tough to beat Brigtsen's. Frank Brigtsen, owner, operator, head chef, joins us on the program again. How you doing, Frank?
Well, yeah, Corey, TGIF.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not in the river because Brigtsen's is so good. I know that's where you are, about to man the grill and cook up some goodies.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to a bang-up weekend and got a lot of good stuff. That's all I can tell you.
Yep, including crawfish. Wow.
Crawfish are at their peak right now. Whether you like boiled crawfish or sauteed crawfish dishes, we have a knockout crawfish and corn soup made with seasoned boiled crawfish that we boil ourselves. And that is the way to start your meal right now.
It really is. And it's not some soup that's been on the pot since 11 a.m. and the crawfish are getting overcooked and gummy. Tell us about this soup and tell us how the crawfish are added to the soup.
Some people will call this a bisque, but it's not. A bisque is a puree. This is a crawfish and corn soup, fresh corn cooked with onions and celery. And we buy live crawfish and boil them ourselves to my recipe. I use Rex brand crawfish boil. And we take some of those boiled crawfish and crush them up with a meat mallet and make a seasoned crawfish stock, which is what we use in the soup. a little blonde roux to thicken it, and milk and cream to finish it, and that's the broth. And then when you sit down and order a cup or a bowl of crawfish and corn soup, we take down a skillet, and we saute fresh Louisiana crawfish tails just for you and garnish your soup with that.
Wow. That's unbelievable. That really is. What else you got cooking crawfish-wise at Brigtsen's, Frank?
We have another appetizer, Corey. It's a pasta dish, crawfish in a pesto butter sauce with sun-dried tomatoes, and I use medium-sized shell pasta, so it holds the sauce real well, and the texture really matches the crawfish tails. That's a great way to start.
Wow.
Crawfish and sweet basil that you find in the pesto, garlic, of course. Really a really lovely combination.
Wow, that sounds so good. Hey, Frank, I love how you with seafood, best available, BA is what you call it. You don't go out and go, I'm getting trout tonight. I'm getting tuna tonight. Mahi tonight. You go to your purveyors and whatever they have, that's the freshest, that's the best local fresh seafood, that dictates your menu, right?
Oh, that's exactly right. My wholesaler emailed me this morning, said he had a little bit of flounder, and so we bought enough flounder for today and tomorrow for our Meunier dish, pan-fried flounder fillet with roasted pecans and Meunier sauce. So that'll be in the menu.
Wow.
We had a little pop of soft-shell crabs yesterday. They're all sold out now, of course, but
you teaser.
To show up a little bit.
That's cruelty to animals. You're teasing us.
They were huge, too.
Oh, boy.
It was boy and girl crabs mixed, and they were big and fat and delicious, and they sold out like that. But they'll start rolling in. Warm weather will bring them back on, and whenever we have them, they fly out of here.
I bet.
Pan-fried. With roasted pecans and Meunier sauce. It's similar to the flounder dish. The crabs take a little longer to cook, but they're not dropped in a deep fryer. They're pan-fried. And so we take great care in that and keep them nice and juicy inside.
I love when the live soft shells come in like the old kind of canned soft drink box that is like an inch tall, and they're just moving around, still alive. Incredible.
A little box top, and about half of these were still wiggling their legs. So I have you need to have a good relationship with all your vendors, of course.
Yep.
And mine really takes care of me on the soft shells. We don't see a lot of them. The last several years, we don't see a lot of them. It's not an everyday thing anymore, unfortunately. But if he knows he's getting some, he'll earmark the first couple of dozen for me. So they're sold to me before they even hit his dock.
How are shrimp running right now?
Oh, gorgeous. This time of year, the inshore shrimp season will reopen in May, but the shrimpers will fish deeper offshore in the Gulf itself, where the big shrimp are. So we're getting 10-count white shrimp, which we use for our shrimp remoulade with guacamole and deviled eggs.
Wow.
And we also use them for our barbecue shrimp. So you get nice, big shrimp, which is what you need for that dish.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, I know you have some other seafood items on the menu. Tell us about the tuna.
That's what I had for dinner last night, Corey. I had a big 2-inch thick tuna steak, blackened, really nice sear on the outside, a little smoky flavor, with a smoked corn sauce, black bean salsa, which we make, of course, and roasted red pepper sour cream, like a pimento sour cream. And, oh, my gosh, I never, ever get tired of that dish. The tuna's been running great. I think the cooler months, the winter time, early spring, is peak tuna season, although we do see it all year round. So that's really, really good. And our seafood platter is back on the menu. The current rendition of it is grilled redfish with crawfish and pistachio lime sauce, which is lovely. crawfish cornbread, which is in a little ramekin cooked to order. So it's hot and fresh with smoked corn butter.
Mm.
And then we have baked oysters. LaRousse is back. This is a dish I created in Warren LaRousse's memory when he passed away in his style. And it's a crab meat and shrimp topping on the baked oyster. And then we have a new scallop dish, baked scallop on the half shell, a scallop shell, with herb scent creamed spinach.
Wow.
And that also is a great, great combination. Also a little jalapeno shrimp coleslaw on our seafood platter.
Chicken still on the menu?
It is. We're currently doing, well, we use Bell & Evans chicken, which is an all-natural, organic chicken. And it's an airline breast, which is a skin-on chicken breast with the drumette attached. And it's pan-roasted to order. And this is the best chicken I have ever had in my life, Corey. It's so juicy and delicious. And we serve it with Creole mustard sauce. And we were doing it with sauteed spinach. But one of my farmer friends who brings us our salad greens, he had this lovely kale. And it's not the kale you think. It's a big, broad leaf. It looks, I don't know how to describe it, but it looks so good. I bought some, and he was trying to move it. So I bought some. So we have smothered kale with the chicken dish, and it is fabulous.
I know there's no such thing as prime chicken like prime beef, but this is prime chicken. That Bell & Evans is hormone-free. It's not tiny chicken, and it's not that oversized, ridiculous, large-sized chicken that seems like it's just not natural. And then it's air-chilled instead of dipped in some, like, chlorine water. It's air-chilled to kill any, bacteria or, I guess, salmonella-type stuff that you'd have on chicken. It's just brilliant. And you mentioned that airline chicken breast. Whoever came up with that idea was a genius. A boneless, skinless chicken breast is okay, but having the skin on, and by doing that, they keep the drumette, like you said, connected to that chicken breast. It's incredible.
Yeah, I agree, and it really, really works well. When we get an order for chicken, we heat up a little skillet with a little olive oil, and we sear the skin side nice and crispy, and then turn it over and finish it in a 500-degree oven for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So it comes out just right. And I'm not a chicken breast lover. I'd rather have a thigh if I'm eating fried chicken. But this chicken breast, oh my gosh, it is unbelievably delicious.
No, the skin adds so much flavor and fat. And like you said, brown means flavor. When you sear that, skin side first, it's just really tough to beat before you finish it off in the oven. Hey, I know it's Lent, but some Catholic boys like me don't really pay attention too much. That filet with that demi-glace is still out there, right?
It sure is. And I had one of those last week, and this beef is so good. The grade is called certified Angus beef, and that's different from just Angus beef. Angus beef is a breed of cattle, and certified Angus beef is a grade of beef above choice and just below prime. So I was on the grill last week, and I was got an order for a steak medium well. So the way you cook steaks to temperature is to poke them a little bit, and when the meat cooks, it gets firmer.
Yep.
And I was thinking this thing's medium well, just my sensibility, and I poked a little bit, and it was still very soft. But I knew it was medium well. But the steak is so good, it's so tender, that even a medium well felt nice and soft.
Yeah, I think with like a New York strip or a ribeye, you can kind of tell the difference between choice and prime, maybe. But with a filet, I don't know if you can really do that. And that Angus that you're talking about, the certified Angus, has, even on the filet, has such nice marbling, and it's just a ton of flavor.
Oh, it's so juicy and just really lovely beef.
Yep.
It's the only thing I use.
Pork chops still on the menu?
Always. A big pork chop, bone in, of course, and we buy whole pork racks. It's an 11-bone rack, and we brine them overnight for 15 hours, which keeps the meat very moist, and it really makes it tender. And so then we cut it into chops, and like the chicken, we sear it in a skillet with a little olive oil so it's brown on both sides.
Yep.
And then finish it in the oven at 500 degrees for 10 minutes. So it comes out freshly cooked to order, extremely tender and juicy. And that's with a pork debris sauce and mashed Yukon Gold potatoes.
Those potatoes are so good, huh?
Oh my gosh, I had some of those last night too.
Yeah, they're just tough to
I
beat.
eat good around here.
No, you do.
Good around here, Corey.
You eat pretty well, Frank. Sort of. Hey, what's the pecan pie dessert? We talk about it every now and then, but it is absolutely incredible with the caramel sauce. Who makes the pecan pie? What makes that so special? Sugary, but not over the top. Just the pecans, the great crust. What's the story on that?
Jean-Marie, our morning pastry chef, makes all the desserts. And the key to this pecan pie, Corey, is two things. Number one, it's a very buttery, tender crust, rolled out pretty thin. And the ingredients in the filling include pecans two different ways. So there are raw, medium pecan pieces in the mix. Dark Cairo brand corn syrup, of course, but we also fold in some ground roasted pecans.
Wow.
And so that ensures that every bite of the pie has that deep roasted pecan flavor. So it's one ingredient, two different forms.
That's incredible. What are we missing, Frank?
A reservation. That's all you need.
You got anything tonight or tomorrow?
Oh, heck no, man. It's busy. Tomorrow is, we had some racetrack people in last night. The Louisiana Derby is tomorrow at Fairgrounds, their closing weekend. And it's just been busy. I'm very thankful and grateful for that. But give Mom a call. You never know. People's plans change. I had a friend brought her mom in last night without a reservation. And Sandy made a spot for her, so it can happen. Don't walk in, they'll call first.
Yep, 861-7610 is the number at Brigtsen's. 861-7610. They do have to-go orders. You can go online, brightsens.com, and check out the to-go menu, which is just what they highly recommend because it travels so well. But you can order anything you like off the regular menu at Brigtsen's also. 861-7610. 861-7610, Tuesday through Saturday night. Wonderful Brigtsen's in the Riverbend section of the Carrollton area of Uptown. Frank, always a pleasure, brother. I love having you on the program. Every time I have you on, I'm like jonesing for some of that Brigtsen's food.
Well, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I really enjoyed it. And y'all have a great weekend. It's going to be beautiful weather tomorrow, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be outstanding. Always a pleasure, Frank. Have a great weekend. See you next Friday.
Oh, you too. Thank you, my friend.
That's Frank Brigtsen joining us from his restaurant. I'm telling you, one of the best in New Orleans. You could have that restaurant in New York or San Francisco or Paris. It'd be one of the best there. If you haven't been to Brigtsen's, I don't know what you're waiting for. Get a reservation for next week, Tuesday through Saturday night. 861-7610 is the number at Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. So good. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Each and every day, this program on radio, television, live streaming. We're on YouTube. Go to YouTube. In the little search bar, put in Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. A-R-E, Neutral Ground in the YouTube search bar, and you can check out the program live or yesterday, last week, last month's program. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a thing. Each and every day, the program on radio, television, live streaming, CareTalks.com, on YouTube. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra. Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln, number one Lincoln dealership in the state of Louisiana. Lamarck Ford, the big store, number one Ford dealership in the region. Yeah, Ronnie Mark's been at it at the Lamarck Automotive Complex on the car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner. Right on the corner, right on the price for nearly 50 years. When Ronnie goes to Dearborn, Michigan to Ford headquarters, they announce over the PA system he's arrived. He's a big shot with Ford, the big store in Kenner. I don't know why you would go anywhere else if you're about to buy a Ford or Lincoln vehicle, or you just want to check out the full Ford or Lincoln lineup. You go to Kenner and Lamarck Automotive Complex. Now, if you're on the other side of the parish by the river, you can go check out Ford trucks and SUVs, every single vehicle besides the Mustang. That's the only car Ford produces now is the Mustang. You can get the Mustang at the big store. But if you go to the other side of the parish, like the big store, they've got trucks and SUVs at Crescent City Ford, the Ford truck dealership for generations and generations. And now Crescent City Ford is Lamarck Crescent City Ford, the city's Ford truck and SUV dealership on Jefferson Highway. Yeah, every single afternoon. This program is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. About 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ladies hoops, they don't have halves. They have 4 quarters. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. LSU trails Utah 42-41. LSU jumped out to a 13-6 lead. Utah went on a little run. It was all knotted up a few times, 21, 25, 27. They've been going back and forth. Utah 42, LSU 41. About 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Angel Reese is having a big game. I'll try to get her stats before we go off the air, but not only a bunch of points, but a lot of rebounds. Just absolutely fantastic player. All-American, All-SEC, top 5 ladies player in the game. Angel Reese. Kim Mulkey getting all she can handle with Utah, a really good team. They're the 2 seed in that regional. LSU is the 3 seed. Tonight's winner goes to the Elite 8 and will play on Sunday for a trip to the Final Four. So LSU, a victory today and a victory on Sunday will make it back to the Final Four. But the funnel narrows. It just gets tougher and tougher as each game comes on. Hey, every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. Last week you were running heat. Now you're running air conditioning. Sometimes you don't even have the system on at all. If you turn on your AC or heat and it's making a funny noise, or worse, not working right or not working at all, don't stress out. Get the problem solved quickly. River Cities Total Maintenance is there. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys will take care of you because they're honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. They know when your heat or AC isn't working, you're inconvenienced. That's why they come right away. Honest AC and heating experts that come immediately. Find them at NOLAAC.com, NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Hey, y'all, it's Junket Cantrell, Mayor, City of New Orleans. We've decided to hold a contest where you can decide where I go next on my taxpayer finance vacation. I was thinking about Acapulco, but that's in the Western Hemisphere, and we can do a lot better than that. Think Europe, Asia, maybe even the Middle East. You know, if it's safe. You don't want old Junket Cantrell getting hurt. It's all about my vacation, having fun, and spending the city's money on my entertainment. I'll be flying first class, of course, and I'll be bringing some administrative flunkies with me. It should only cost the city around $30,000, maybe $40,000. Help me pick my next city finance vacation. Go online, Cantrell Junket at cityofno.gov. And have a fleeced day.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and we're maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Producing tomorrow's talk radio today, Corey Johnson.
Ray, this is tomorrow's newspaper. Precisely. I already went further ahead into time to see what else happens.
Your View, Louisiana. That's Cox Channel 4 in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette. And live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
Future. Unbelievable.
About 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the final quarter. LSU Lady Hoops trailing Utah 47-46. 47-46, Utah by a point, 9 minutes to go. If LSU was shooting anywhere decent from three-point land, they might be up by 6-8 points right now. 1 for 10 from three-point land. Utah is 7 for 17, 41%, almost 42%. That's the difference in the ball game right now. Utah just threw up another three, and fortunately, it did not go in. LSU 48, Utah 47, about 8:45 to go in the ball game. The winner advances to Sunday, and the Elite Eight, a victory there. And the first, 48-47, Tigers, 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Fletcher Mackel in the 4 o'clock hour for about 10 minutes. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. in the 4 o'clock hour for about 25 minutes. Frank Brigtsen just joined us for about 15 minutes talking food. We do it every Friday with that trio. Fletcher Mackel, about 10 minutes of sports, and sometimes it's less than that. We might talk about if he had a good meal, why he's driving a 40-year-old diesel Mercedes car with no ABS brakes or airbag, no modern technology. I often tell Fletch, I'm like, Fletch, geez, some chicks are going to look at that car and be like, it's a 40-year-old Heap. What's your problem? You have a great job at Channel 6. And he's like, dude. And I was like, don't even go there. Don't even go there. I know where you're going. If she's going to judge me on my car, I don't want to be with her anyway. That's right. Yeah, I don't want to be with a girl, she's judging me on my vehicle, and materialistic, I think Kim Mulkey's outfit is alive, like she has to water it. Seriously, it's a colorful jacket with pink, boa type stuff running down the tops of the sleeves. 50-47, Tigers by 3. 7:30 to go in the ball game. Now, Fletcher Mackel talking a little sports. Michael Hecht filling us in on a couple of firms bringing some tech jobs to New Orleans. One, just a handful of jobs to the CBD. The other one, about 40 jobs to the CBD, plus some blue-collar jobs, a fuel facility that's going to be built in St James Parish up the river from the city. We also talked about something we've discussed for a long time, and NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, had an article on it earlier this week. Why local port facilities from Baton Rouge to the mouth of the river, Baton Rouge to the Gulf, the largest port facility in the world here in Louisiana. But it's 5 different ports. Port of Baton Rouge, Port of South Louisiana, Port of New Orleans, Port of St. Bernard, Port of Plaquemine, and they compete against each other. It's mind-blowing. We talked about that and how that needs to be corrected. And Frank Brigtsen just talking great food. flounder with the pecan, meuniere, barbecue shrimp, crawfish, and corn soup. And Frank doesn't have the crawfish tail sitting in the soup all day. You order the soup. He ladles some of that soup into a cup, and then out of the skillet, freshly sauteed crawfish go in the soup. Now, that's why Brigtsen's is incredible. Hey, speaking of, you're on the Causeway Bridge right now. You want to pick up a to-go order from Trey Yen? It's easy. Curbside delivery. You pull into that little half circle under the roof right in front of Trey Yen. They walk your order right out to the car. Curbside delivery at Trey Yen in Mandeville. Why don't you get the whole fish with the Tong Cho sauce? Any of the Tong Cho dishes are outstanding. That's their signature sauce that's sweet and spicy. Or dine in. You North Shore folks, you know where Trey Yen is, at the foot of the Causeway. You South Shore folks, literally 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall, critically acclaimed, nationally recognized, doesn't get much better than Trey Yen in Mandeville.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The kitchen, dude. What you doing, buddy? What's that? Going to be a nice Saturday. You're right, buddy. Weather-wise, maybe a little cloudy in the morning, but then it's going to be bright, sunny all afternoon. You're hoping Sunday holds out from the rain. I hear you, buddy. Blue Boy's a champion. Have a great weekend. See you Monday at 4 p.m., New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.